why blood proteins exist. But to imagine or to understand what blood proteins are, I need you to imagine this. Imagine your body has a VSCity and glucose is the energy source that keeps the lights on. But how does glucose know where it's needed? That's where blood proteins come in. They're like city transport system, ensuring that every cell receives the glucose to keep running efficiently. But to give you a more specific definition, GLUT proteins are glucose transporters that facilitate the transport of glucose and other sugars across the cell membranes. Here you can see glucose, stardust spots here, dust spot here, and this is a GLUT protein. You know that the glucose is in the exterior of the cell. GLUT proteins will lead the glucose from the exterior of the cell to the interior of the cell. There are different types of GLUT, but my friend will explain later. But it has an important role in the metabolism and structure of the cells. Remember that GLUT proteins are intermembranous proteins, so they are part of the architecture of the cell, and they do an important role in metabolism. What I want to mean with this, you know that we need glucose because that's the food, that's the first source of the cells to convert that in energy. So if those are blocked, could you play the other next one, play? So if they are blocked like here, or they are not working good, they can absorb the glucose outside the cell. So the cell will be sad. The cell won't have energy to keep working efficiently. And what process of the body requires lots of energy? The last one. For example, the muscle contraction and the brain function. Needs lots of energy. So if we don't have those proteins, we could not obtain the energy from glucose. You know, glucose will be converting energy by process like the Krebs cycle, the glycolysis. We obtain ATP, that is the energetic coin of the cell, to work. So my friend Maria will explain you different types of GLUT proteins that act in different tissues in the body that plays different functions.
Okay, as stated before, we said that there are three classifications of GLUT, and we all have seen this table because it was on the reading, but I'm going to focus on these types of GLUT because they are considered the most important of the GLUT transporters. So, the GLUT1, it is found mainly in red blood cells and endothelial cells, and it is important for the obtention and transportation of glucose, and it is also important in the transportation across the blood-brain barrier. The GLUT2 is mainly in the obtention of glucose in the liver, the beta cells of the pancreatic, and small intestine. It is also important in the postprandial glucose uptake. Postprandial means that it is immediately after a meal. Immediately after you eat, this GLUT is going to start working. The GLUT3 is specifically for the brain and the neurons, so it's important for the cognitive function. And GLUT4 is the only one in this table that is insulin dependent. So it is found in skeletal muscle, adipose tissue, Yeah, that's all.
Okay guys, so now I'm going to talk about the GLUT and what types of diseases it has. So the glucose transporters, the GLUT, are implicated in various diseases, what we know, due to their critical role in the metabolism of sugar within the cells. So the first is the cancer. There are four kinds of GLUTs in this pathology. So the first is the GLUT. One is so associated with the nucleus, so associated with aggressiveness and invasive capacity of tumors, making it so negative in the prognostic measure in the brain. So in the brain, the colon, in the lungs. The second one is the GLUT. So similar to group 1, the difference between those is just the group 3, it has a affinity for glucose, makes it crucial to meet the high energy in the demands of cancer. So basically, it's
No me cae que me nervioso, pero, o sea, es que es en serio.